Welcome back to Granja Camito in the Pedroche Valley of Andalusia, Spain. Let's start with some escapees. As we had sold all the yearlings, the cows have been searching for them. That is not something that we originally intended to do, but as we are adapting to the current situation with the drought and all the other issues, see the other video, that is the first step of removing the cattle. So they jumped the fence over to the neighbor, and they were looking there. But now they remembered where there is a water source, so they jumped the fence back at another place, and are now finding their way to the waterer. And as I spotted them doing that, I opened that gate here in the foreground, so that they won't jump the fence again, where they did this the last time. So this seems to be a more prudent move. And you can also guess it's a weekend. So that is when all these things always happen. This area here has been fenced off for a while, and to my surprise, I found these plants that are sitting in the water. They come from the shore of this little pond and somehow have their leaves and a good portion of their body inside of the water. Maybe someone knows what they are. As you know, I'm bad at determining the species of a plant, so please help if you can. This is the current state of the pond, our grey water pond. So the water from our shower goes in here. And there is a new Mr. Cat. The older one was also here. And I have a little clip that I made from the distance on my phone, and I will insert this here. So it appears that this Mr. Cat was lying down in the shade here of this little channel where the water from a rainfall can go in here. So quite interesting. And there is also the black one. So they were both hiding there from the sun, which is very nice. So apparently they created some sort of a home in there, which is nice. Where did the black one go? Well, so, there she is, behind the vetiver, right there where my shadow is. So the vetiver has started to green up a little bit, and of course this should now have roots deep enough to reach the moisture that is there. The water level is not that low. Of course it's lower than it's supposed to be, but it's not that low. And here and there you can see something jumping into the water. So there is some life in there, despite the fact that it's a grey water pond, but we don't put anything that is very dangerous in there. So it's basically the soap and the stuff that humans use to clean themselves, including washing their hair, and from the washing machine, both for the plates as for clothes. So that stuff. So it's not overly toxic, but still you don't want to drink it. But here and there some animals still do, but then of course it gets diluted. So it's not so big of an issue, I would assume. And here on that berm where we had the capsicum annuum, the red chili peppers, red missile it was. So it looks like that these did not make it. So the frost somehow killed them. I have not tried to get them out, but there's definitely nothing going on there. Instead, it gets populated by all kinds of other things. And for the time being, I let this, and I have no intention of planting anything here on my own. And I will probably talk more when it's time about more and more changes that I am going to introduce. I'm not overly happy, but I have to understand a few cultural issues, and things are the way they are. So instead of talking about that, but you got a hint, I want to show you a little bit how this Wannabe food forest is now looking. So as you can see, we have some grasses coming up here, but you can also see that the drought that we are in is causing difficulties here. So instead of being lush and green, you can see a lot of brown spots. And the vetiver here does not suffer from that, because it's a C4 plant and also is supposed to have a lot deeper roots. So this is not looking so bad. And the other interesting thing is, so those little swales that we have here, like that one, they are covered. So the bottom of these swales is well covered, and there's more green, as you can clearly see. And even in the part here towards the end, towards this very, very flat or shallow pond area here, it wasn't supposed to be like that, but it just happened to be. So there we also have the ground more and more covered, which is also a good thing. So some of you mentioned that in the comments, that swales are supposed to have the ground covered, and yeah, it's happening. So that's a very good thing. This peach here has flowered. The flowers are now gone. Now leaves come. The other one is looking a little bit less covered with leaves, but we will see. There are a lot of trees missing, and all the support species and all that. So that one there is a Andalusia. That is supposed to be a support species, and I believe the one there in the back, we will see what happens, or it died for lack of moisture. That is, or was, depends how it is, either a plum or a cherry. I'm not really sure, but I don't remember anymore. And this oak tree here, in Spanish it's called a quejigo. It's one of the three species that you find in the Dehesa. This is also coming back. And let me go towards this area first. So, as you can see here, there's a lot of biomass being produced. And my plan is to bring the sheep in here, so that the sheep can convert this. Maybe the horses also. Probably first the horses and then the sheep. And you can clearly see that this palovnia there is making a lot of leaves. So this is looking very, very good. So let's see how all of them do. So the next one there also, and the one here is also making leaves. Let's go there to the back. The ground is not even, it's a bit hard to walk. So if the camera is shaking, it's because of that. So here, there is another one. And it appears that all of the trees that are still there are making leaves. So that's good. We did lose one or two in the process, because around here there was supposed to be something, but I don't see it anymore. But they are there, and that's good. And they are making their leaves. The sheep are somewhere here in this area, somewhere in the shade. I cannot spot them at the moment, but they're somewhere around. And now let's have a look at the other trees that are over there. Because of the sun, I will stay on that side. I can also show you what's going on in this swale here. So this swale, the bottom is kind of a walking path. As you can see, there is something that looks like a path. So, I forgot to mention, so that is one of the support species. Sorry, I can't tell you the name anymore. But I chopped it a few times and it comes back. And here we have one. Again, I'm very bad with that. When I see the fruit, then I can tell you what it is. But at this moment, I don't really know. So just, just understand. So here is another one that still has flowers and has made leaves. These two are peaches, and they are in the flower and making leaves phase. The ground here is a little bit covered. There was some ash because we had nothing else, but at least there's something. And further ahead, so in that direction, we mulched a little bit with using some wood chips that we were able to make a while back. And then we put vetiver leaves here as much as was possible. First they were placed a little bit thin, and then I gave the suggestion to make this a lot thicker so that the effect is actually there. And now this is how it looks. This is another Andalusia, and if you look very closely, maybe I can help you to look closely. So this is also making leaves and new little branches, and I chopped it because that's the idea. And the same seems to go for that one here. Also that one looks in... No, there is something going on. So here you can see that there are new sprouts. This is another Andalusia. And then we have those, and we have a lot of garlic around. That is from the garlic that we planted and never harvested. Supposedly this helps to protect the roots from some rodents. And might have another positive effect. So this is growing. And there has been no irrigation here. So this is all from the rain that we got when we got it. And you can also see that this clump here, this little hump in the swale bottom, this does contain a lot of moisture. Also there at the entrance, there is moisture, and here on the other side. So let's start here. So there we have a little patch of lavender. There's nothing going on just yet. Those are the kinch trees. These two, and there are more. That one there is also kinch. And this one here is growing and is flowering. So something might happen. The next one there is another peach. And then I'm not really sure what we have there. Some died. So the hazelnut at the very end, this died for lack of moisture. So this needs a different environment. So as you can see, we mulched. again with vetiver, and my idea was, or is still, when there's a chance to do this and someone to do it, to have vetiver on both sides so that it's easy to chop and drop, to use the vetiver to mulch and make soil over time. Right now the ground gets covered with something that wants to establish itself, so early stages of succession with all the so-called bad plants, but they're actually very beneficial. And let's see, I said this is dead, but maybe we can find some sign of life. So yeah, this looks pretty dead. There is nothing going on here. But well, so be it. And over there on the other side, which happens to be B3, there we have the grasses growing, and a lot of the grasses like those here are making seed heads. And in here we had the horses and the sheep, and it continues to grow. We had them there when there was rain in the forecast, so that was the idea, to give it a little bit of a grooming, and now we let it grow. So I guess that should be it for this video about the current state of the Wannabe food forest. And I will tell you more once there is something in here worth reporting. So stay tuned and see you the next time.